Alright, for speech 5, my informational speech, I decided to talk about minimum wage since it's a topic that's fresh on my mind since I just had to write a paper about it and everything. So I feel like it's important for the U.S. people to know about minimum wage and what are the effects that it could do to our economy, what are the pros, like what are the cons, and why I ultimately think that we should keep the wage the same. Now, why am I talking about minimum wage? Well, if you go to the whitehouse.gov, the internet website for the White House, this page was set up by Barack Obama. He was he had his State of the Union address in 2015, reminding people about the whole minimum wage issue that a lot of people weren't really thinking about at the time. Well, it wasn't like a fresh issue. People were thinking about it, but it wasn't like fresh. So yeah, it's now back in the minds of everybody, and they eventually had the plan to raise minimum wage to $12 by 2020, and that's all fine and dandy. But one of the few problems with this is that 50.4% of the people who make minimum wage are young adults in their late teens. Now, what does this mean? Well, in Obama's address, he inquires that people need to try to raise a family on a single mother's salary, which is roughly like $15,000 a year, and see if they can pull it off. Well, this is kind of irrelevant because most people, if they really were like cared about their jobs or anything like that, they would be in a place of better employment, and if they were a good worker, they would already be making more than minimum wage anyway. Most of the people who make minimum wage are actually teenagers like me, or other people, just like starting off to get some fun money for college or something like that, and it's not really like a big issue for them to making money, and if it is, they just go get a job somewhere else, And another issue that people have been having is that, or not another issue, but one little factoid is I got from truthout.org. Most fast food companies are the biggest employers of these people on minimum wage, and they don't make a lot from this whole setup. That's why they're paying their employers or employees minimum wage in the first place. They only make 2 to 3 cents off an item, and asking them to raise the wage, would do a couple things. One of the biggest ones, or well, think about it. If the company is forced to pay their employees more, they have a couple of choices on what they could do. They could raise prices of their food, and I mean, do they really want to do that though with competition and other guys? Like they charge less than the other people, so they might be more inclined to go eat at the other restaurant than over here. What they're going to more than likely do, which is the safer option, is just lay more people off. If one guy's lazy and being unproductive and the other guy's doing a lot better, what happens in our system is that the guy who's doing a lot better is going to get noticed and he's going to get promoted, so minimum wage wouldn't be affecting him anyway. Minimum wage was focusing on the other guy who's kind of lazy, doesn't really like to work, and doesn't really care about anything, and is moving job to job. So should we reward this guy by raising the wage? I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like if he really wants to make good money, he should just work harder and work for a promotion than have it given to him by the government. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But like, most employers are gonna end up laying off people anyways. So the whole idea that people are going to be spending a lot more money is kind of like, I don't know, ironic, because these people aren't going to spend money if they don't have a job. So it's just ends up as like one big mess. And another fact is that I got from EPIonline, or EPIonline.org, is that most of the poverty in America comes from the class of people that aren't working. So, if one big thing that people want for pushing of the minimum wage by raising it is that it'll make our poverty go away, or at least decrease it. that's just simply not the case, as most of them aren't working in the first place. So a lot of them wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't be affected by the minimum wage issue anyway. Look for my change. Oh well. Anyway, but yeah. So in my conclusion, I mean, President Obama meant well, but without certified proof that raising minimum wage would help the economy instead of making it worse. I mean, I don't think it's a good call, because why take that risk when when it could just end up making things a lot worse and end up having a less circulation of money in the first place. In my opinion, if people want to make more money, they got to put in the work for it. So if they want more of this, they might have to work harder. And I mean, it's an issue that everybody needs to know about, so I just felt like it was important to pick this as my topic, because everybody loves money, everybody likes making money, but nobody likes putting people out on the streets. So I definitely think another solution should be taking place other than raising minimum wage to decrease poverty in America. And yeah, that concludes my speech.